Following the treacherous and unexpected Japanese attack at Pearl Harbor on the morning of December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy, the U.S. territories in the Pacific began falling one by one to the Japanese invasion. As the U.S. struggles to bring together its naval forces in the Pacific and prepare retaliation, you have to take the role of Admiral Chester William Nimitz, newly appointed Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Pacific Fleet. Your task is to bring together all the U.S. naval forces demoralized by a series of disgraceful defeats, strengthen them, heighten their spirits, and prepare to turn the tide of the Pacific War. By employing carefully considered strategy, shrewd tactical moves, providing your forces with the newest and most up-to-date equipment, and exploiting enemy weaknesses, you have to retake all territories seized by the Empire of Japan in the Pacific, and then invade their homeland. The whole world needs to be made aware of what happens when one dares to attack the United States of America.
Greetings and good morning, Hawaii. You're listening to Radio Honolulu. Today, December the 7th, the weather is perfect, and we would like to bring this song for the listening pleasure of all U.S. military personnel on Hawaii.
Jenny, why aren't you eating? Mom, is Daddy going to leave us again today? Yes, Jenny. You know full well that he is on duty, even on Sundays.
Hey, you two. I have a surprise for both of you. I took the day off so I could spend the entire day with two beautiful ladies.
We get to play with Daddy today!
Don't worry, the Arizona will somehow manage without me for one whole day.
You see them on the highway, you meet the sound of pipes, in olive drab and taffy, our soldiers are behind, and as the car is passing, the word goes down the line, good morning, Mr. Zip, 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 your joy is looking hot. Good morning, Mr. Zip, 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 with your hair.
This is preposterous. Utterly preposterous. Our Pacific Fleet has been destroyed at Pearl Harbor, clearly demonstrating an unprecedented level of complacency and incompetence in our high command. On top of all this disastrous news, our territories in the Pacific are being captured by the Japanese daily. Gentlemen, this cannot be allowed to continue. Admiral Nimitz, you are hereby appointed the new Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet. I expect you to fully engage the Japanese and put an end to this nonsense immediately. You must save our nation. Do I make myself perfectly clear?
Mr. President, indeed, the situation is dire. However, I'm convinced that decisive actions will swing the balance in our favor.
Mr. President, the appointment of Chester Nimitz is the best thing that you could have done to put the Japanese in their place. Together we will protect our country from the Japanese threat.
It is my direct command to you, Admiral Nimitz, that the Japanese offensive in the Pacific be completely thwarted.
Yes, sir.
Ernest, Chester, do not let our country down.
Oh my God, it is worse than in the newspapers. Oklahoma, capsized, 429 dead. Arizona, exploded, 1,177 dead. We have lost so many brave seamen, and it all happened in 1 hour. How many more have to die before we end this war?
I hope that we can get back at those damn Japs, sir.
We have to regain our strength first. Then retaliate at the right moment. And here comes my fleet. Enter.
Naval Intelligence Officer Lieutenant Commander Layton, reporting for duty as ordered, sir.
At ease, Lieutenant Commander. Give me the situation report.
The Japanese carrier task force is headed on...
I read the report, Layton. I am interested in the officer's mood, not the statistics.
Well, after everything that happened, sir, everyone expects to be relieved of duty. I'm also willing to take responsibility for our collective failures, sir. Who should I transfer my duties to?
Sit down, Lieutenant Commander. Lieutenant Commander, I've scrutinized the report and the attack on the Pearl Harbor. I have come to the conclusion that you and the other officers are not to blame. It could have happened to anyone. It's my sincere hope, Layton, that you and all the other men will remain in your assigned duties. America most assuredly needs you.
Well, Admiral, we all know this is a catastrophe, sir. Our Pacific Fleet is all but destroyed.
No. I would not say that's true. Our aircraft carriers are still in good shape. It's still too early for us to give up. This is especially true in your case, Layton. You have spent years in Tokyo, and you've studied the Japanese mentality and their traditions, and know them better than anyone else. Your knowledge is an invaluable asset. Edwin, let's assume that you are Admiral Yamamoto. What would your next move be?
Well, sir, I would focus on this southern region, sir. The Japanese are in dire need of fuel. So they're going to have to occupy New Guinea. And then all the nearby islands which are rich in oil. At the same time, they should try to capture Port Moresby, which is to support any subsequent invasion of Australia.
That is exactly what I have assumed as well. And that is where we're going to stop them.
From the Commander-in-Chief, United States Fleet, Admiral Ernest King, to the Commander-in-Chief, United States Pacific Fleet, Admiral Chester Nimitz. The situation in the Pacific Theatre has deteriorated rapidly over the last 4 months. The Japanese have seized vast operational areas and are now on the verge of invading Australia. The Port Moresby base in New Guinea is the last obstacle in their way. Its loss would be a catastrophe for our defence in the Pacific Southwest sector. Intelligence reports a group of Japanese transport ships which are being escorted by a carrier will soon be heading to Port Moresby for a troop landing and deployment. Further, be advised, 2 Japanese carriers left the base in Rabaul. They are assumed to have been ordered to the Coral Sea to provide air cover for the landing operation. The Southwest Sector Commander, General MacArthur, will try to hold Port Moresby at all costs. Unfortunately, his forces are insufficient to carry this out. Only the Navy can stop the Japanese. I command you to send a carrier task force to the Coral Sea to detect and destroy the Japanese invading forces.
From Admiral Nimitz to Admiral King, I sent Task Force 17, including carrier Yorktown, to intercept the anticipated Japanese attack.
Admiral Fletcher reports. Task Force 17 has reached the designated location.
Great. Your next step will be to join forces with Task Force 11 located near the island of San Cristobal. To establish contact, your ships must arrive at the specified area. Upon uniting our fleet, locate and eliminate the Japanese forces. According to intelligence reports, the enemy is expected to attack from the north. Bear in mind that after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, every major naval vessel counts. Under no circumstances can we allow for the loss of the Yorktown. Without such a valuable combat unit, our defeat would be imminent.
Japanese recon aircraft has been sighted close to our task force.
It cannot be allowed to escape. I do not want to alert the Japanese High Command with the advance news of our attack. Send fighters to intercept the enemy plane.
From General MacArthur to Admiral Nimitz. My pilots spotted a group of Japanese warships heading for Tulagi Island. Apparently, they are planning to seize the island. Our garrison does not stand a chance against an attack. However, your fleet is capable of overpowering any invading forces. Now would be the perfect time for intervention. The troops on their transport ships are extremely vulnerable. You must help my men protect Tulagi.
I'd rather not take the reports of MacArthur's army pilots at face value. They are not accustomed to naval operations and can give us an incorrect assessment of the situation. We have to send our reconnaissance float plane to scout the area around Tulagi.
I cannot live without the skies.
Enemies are high. We are higher.
All systems are go.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. And send for the enemy.
Guarding bigger vessels.
Time to move.
We have established contact with Task Force 11.
Great. Take command of all ships. Yorktown alone would not stand a chance against the Japanese, but a joint fleet with 2 carriers has a good chance of winning this battle.
All systems are go. There we go.
You require an escort on the prowl.
I'm fed up with seeing the same ugly mugs every day.
We keep traditions of the Navy. All these fancy new carriers will not replace good old 400mm naval guns.
Providing escort service.
Should we not get paid better?
Your forces are comprised of both core and non-core units. Core unit strength indicator is green and round-shaped, and for non-core units it is yellow and hexagon-shaped. Non-core units are allocated for one mission only, while the core units will accompany you throughout the campaign. You will be able to level them up and provide them with new equipment. These units are the ones which should be under your primary protection.
I cannot live without the skies.
Better to die than to live and not fly.
The aircraft has been shot down!
Great. We made sure he was not able to reveal our location.
You can see the world's harmony in the skies.
Our lives are in the skies.
Well, hype.
It's a pity we have not used this great reconnaissance tool before. Acting blindly is too costly at times.
I was born a pilot. We're teaching them statistics forcefully.
We are high in the sky.
We're eager to fly. When we fly, our enemies are closer to God.
300mm of armor is no joke.
Oh yes, we'll show them our main gun.
Shelling the enemy airfield, you also damage aircraft units located there. Enemy aircraft are much easier to eliminate on the ground than in the air.
US Marines are bested only by US submarines. Didn't expect that, bastards?
Carriers are the main instrument of modern warfare.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Finally, we get to use our guns.
Damage is indicated with the numbers above the unit being attacked. For grounded, there are two types of damage, lethal and non-lethal. Both lethal and non-lethal damage decrease the unit's strength. However, non-lethal damage at the same time increases the number of units damaged, which can later be restored. Naval units always receive only lethal damage. However, they have multiple ship parts with their corresponding HP, thus damage against them is split. Ship parts except the hull are repaired over time by ship maintenance. Hull HP cannot be restored in any way during the operation.
Require an escort? Searching for enemy subs.
Carriers are the main instrument of modern warfare. We reach for the stars. Our world is full of wonders. Carriers are one of them.
We are high in the sky. This is hell, as in Hellcat.
Fighter planes are vital for gaining air superiority. Keep your fighters close to allied aircraft you want to protect, and they will provide fire support. Fighters are able to attack ground targets, although with low efficiency. They can use the Overwatch breakthrough skill to counter enemy anti-aircraft fire and kill enemies attacked with bombers.
Mobile airfield at your disposal.
When we fly, our enemies are closer to God. On the ground, everything's so hectic. I like flying. It's liberating.
The Japanese main carrier force approaches. We will engage and destroy it.
Tulagi has fallen. My men fought like heroes, but the fleet did not support them. If you plan to defend Port Moresby in a similar manner, then we are doomed.
We are the fastest ship. Providing escort service. Continue the onslaught. Fire all guns. Do you require an escort? We fight!
With that much fire, we can sink the whole country, I think. That's about to disappear. One volley of shelling worth more than my house. One volley of shelling.
Capital ships are equipped with long-range alpha main guns capable of striking through an armored deck. Secondary guns can repel approaching escort ships with barrage fire. Capital ships are vulnerable to submarine and aircraft attacks, so they require an escort of destroyers. However, artillery strikes from guns with low attack value cannot pierce their armored deck. They can also send a reconnaissance seaplane to scout the area.
Submariners are the elite of the Navy. Yes, it is us.
Carriers are the main instrument of modern warfare.
Let's pray for good weather.
We had been pilots before we were born.
I fly the newest model in my sleep.
We must protect our convoy!
I couldn't agree more. Nonetheless, I have to point out that sending carrier-based aviation against Neosho and Sims would temporarily leave the Japanese carriers helpless. It would be the perfect moment for us to take out the enemy carriers.